A big day here in Bowling Green for the family of Crystal Rogers. Suspect Steve Lawson has been found guilty on conspiracy to commit murder and and tampering with physical evidence. The jury has recommended a total of 17 years for Steve Lawson. Now, the judge has the final say in all of this, and Judge Charles Sims says the final sentencing will happen in August. Now, we have heard from the defense team in this case for Steve Lawson. He is saying that they plan to appeal this verdict, but once again, Steve Lawson found guilty on conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. I want to paint a picture for you of what happened in the courtroom just minutes ago. We know we've been telling you all week that electronics have not been allowed in the courtroom, so we can't give you any recorded sound bites from what happened during sentencing and when that verdict was read. So I want to share some quotes with you. Tori Rogers, Crystal's daughter, she is now 21 years old. She was 11 years old at the time her mom disappeared. When she took the stand during the sentencing phase of this trial, she was visibly shaking and crying before the prosecutor even started asking her some questions. She talked of her siblings. She talked of her mom, saying she was the best mom in the world. She always made everyone laugh. She said how this has affected them because her mom, Crystal Rogers, has missed out on so many major milestones in her life and her siblings' lives. Tori is going to get married soon, and she says her mom will not be a part of that big day for her. One specific soundbite or quote that I want to share with you, she said, "I still think we'll find her, but not the way we hoped." She also went on to say, telling the jury that this has not gotten any easier. It is harder every day. Now, the defense also during the sentencing phase called Barbara Coulter, that is Steve Lawson's mother. Steve, she said, will be 55 this summer. She was saying that she did not raise her son to be involved in anything like this, and it blows her mind that he was involved with something like Crystal Rogers' disappearance and murder. She went on to explain to the jury that she wanted to apologize to the Ballards, especially to Sherry. She said if this is something that would have happened to her, she would have reacted in the same way. But she also was saying how Steve is now a different person than he was 10 years ago. And in a way, she was asking for mercy from the jury. And one of the last things that she said was, quote, "What decision you make, you will have to live with that decision for the rest of your life." That is one of the final things that she had said to the jury. And then the defense and the prosecution, they were able to give some of their closing remarks, and the defense team, they had asked for the minimum sentence, which was 8.5 years, because they were saying Steve Lawson would be in his early 60s at that point, and they were explaining how he was just a guy that was caught in the middle of all of this, and they were still saying that we don't even know if there was a murder, because they said Crystal's body has still yet to be found in this case. And they asked the jury to take mercy and pity on Steve Lawson. But then came the final words of this entire trial. It was with prosecutor Shane Young. He explained how he knows Barbara Coulter and that he feels bad in a way for the mother of Steve Lawson. He says she is a good lady, but he went hard on Steve Lawson in his final remarks of this trial. He says, "If you are part of the plan, you are a murderer," referencing Steve Lawson here. He called him not a man, stared right into his face. And during all of this, during the sentencing phase, when we're hearing from Tori Rogers and his own mother, Steve Lawson was visibly emotionless, not moving much, just listening, not crying, while the Ballard family was visibly upset and emotional during all of this. Shane Young had said, quote, "Don't take pity on him, don't take mercy on him." These were some very strong words he had to say here at the end. He said, quote, "Give him every freaking thing he deserves. He took those kids' mother from them." So, to recap here for you, Steve Lawson has been found guilty on conspiracy to commit murder and guilty of tampering with physical evidence. The jury recommended a total of 17 years for him, and this has been an emotional week for the family of Crystal Rogers. For the past 10 years, they say they have been waiting for this day for such a long time. They are pleased with the results of this trial, but now they still have another trial to get ready for. That is the one with Brooks Houck, Rogers' former boyfriend, and as we know, Steve Lawson's son, Joseph Lawson. So a lot to get to today, but that is a quick update from here in Bowling Green. Scott, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and Fallon, I know you've developed relations with these family members of Crystal Rogers over the past decade, and I'm wondering when we might hear from some of them, if we will hear from Sherry Ballard and others, if they will want to give an interview, or are they waiting for the next trial?
Well, at this point, everyone in the family is quite emotional. I have spoken with a lot of them, just not on camera, and I don't think physically they are able to do that right now. They are very upset, as you can imagine, losing a loved one and having to go through this process for the past 10 years. They are very upset. So physically and emotionally, I don't think they're able to do that right now, but we will see. Also, when this whole court proceeding started, with Brooks getting arrested and Steve and Joseph Lawson also getting arrested, they were advised not to speak to media during this whole process. So we will see if that continues, because we still have another court case to get to.
All right, Fallon Glick, thanks for that update from the courthouse down there in Bowling Green.